Powered by Riverside.
Hello and welcome into TheSadFan, where we talk about the good, the bad, and everything that made you sad. This is just the start of what's going to be probably regular. We're probably going to be moving to filming more on the weekend now that football season is over. It frees up some time during the week for us, and it allows us to attack the NBA with a little bit more accuracy, I suppose, because a lot of the games are happening during the weekdays, and we can't really get to them, and by the time we approach them, it's too late. But it also is going to open up the door for a right straight jab that might knock out one of the most powerful fighters we've ever seen, perhaps even within 6 minutes of fighting. And of course, that takes us to the big fight of the weekend, which I didn't think we were going to be able to talk about with this much brevity. But Wes, what do you think about that Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou fight?
That was quick. I was not expecting that after he took Tyson Fury to the brink. But man, that was good. I think he put the world on notice, and I don't think there's any other option, but we need Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Unless Tyson Fury loses to Usyk, but
What's so interesting,
we need a unification bout.
We do. They're both British, too. They're both British. Just have the fight in the backyard and let's go. Let's get it over with. But he turned Francis Ngannou into a good old spaghetti leg McGee over there.
Knocked him down and knocked him out.
Yeah, it was crazy because if you watch it in the second round, Ngannou doesn't even get his guard all the way back up before a sniper goes right through and ends his night early.
Yeah, that was whack. He should have taken a little more time to get up.
Yeah, just recover yourself a little bit, right? Don't just jump right in, especially with a fighter the caliber of Anthony Joshua. But when we're watching this, I can't help but think, what happens in an MMA bout?
Ngannou wins.
You think it's the exact opposite, right? It's the exact opposite. The smaller gloves plus wrestling, jiu-jitsu, it's
the legs.
Martial arts. Yeah, the legs are in question.
Ngannou's got those beefy thunder thighs.
Yeah, you got to think about kicks, all kinds of things. But in a boxing match, it makes me sad that mixed martial artists to make probably more money than he's made his entire career after being the heavyweight champion of the world.
It's estimated he's made $30 million between his two fights with Fury and Joshua.
And for not that much time. Not that much time. And Fury didn't give him that much damage in the Fury fight. This obviously was maximum damage. With the Anthony Joshua fight, I said, a little chicken leg going behind him. If you catch it in the video, he got his foot, he does a little chicken leg where your heel gets stuck in the mat and he just goes down. But it was interesting because there was some stuff after the fight where Anthony Joshua was encouraging him. But overall, we should not be in a place where these MMA fighters have to venture into the boxing ring to make more money than they've ever made in their life, right?
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic, and Dana White needs to get his crap together.
He won't. Why would he?
No, he won't.
He's allowed to keep as much of the money as he wants right now. So there's no pressure on him either, and he works for Disney. What's going to happen to him?
Nothing.
No,
I mean, what's going to happen is a lot of his top talent is going to leave for boxing.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I still don't see boxing as a sport that's going to be resurrected unless it's by, 57-year-old Mike Tyson?
That's what's crazy, though. I mean, because UFC probably gets more viewers and brings in more pay-per-views. So
yeah, I would agree to that 100%. I think it's the more popular sport. But I think the only one that might be able to, if this doesn't resurrect boxing, I think the only one that might be able to resurrect boxing is, again, I think Mike Tyson. You know about this, right? You know about what's going on, right? You don't know?
No.
You didn't see the news about Mike Tyson?
No.
He's fighting Jake Paul. He's fighting Jake Paul. It's really happening. Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. So I'm going to filibuster a minute so you can pull up that poster. But Mike Tyson, I think at 57 years old, I think he's 57, I might be off,
Jesus,
will be fighting Jake Paul in not an exhibition fight, in an actual boxing match. And remember that Jake Paul had his debut on the undercard of Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., Roy Jones Jr. And Mike Tyson has the quote now saying, I helped him start his career, and now I'm going to help him end it. I believe him.
Jesus.
I
It's going to
believe
be live on Netflix. Wow.
Yes, live on Netflix. And again, I believe Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson is going to help him end the career. But do you give Jake Paul a shot in this boxing match at all?
I mean, it depends on how much Mike Tyson's been training.
I mean, he looks good, man. He looks good. The last video I saw of Mike Tyson, he punched a hole in a heavy bag. So that could be that might be
Jake.
That might be Jake Paul's torso by the end of the night. Like,
I mean, maybe he'll punch him into the WWE after this so he can join his brother as a tag team.
Like the Steiner brothers, but the Paul brothers. What could have been? What was that company that was sponsoring all of these fights, all these off-the-wall fights? What was it, Trill Productions or something like that?
I have no idea.
Trill Promotions that was sponsoring all these fights. And now I'm going to say, like, is Trill going to be a WWE entity soon? Because I'm just being fair. I don't like them as humans, but Logan Paul's been a pretty good draw for WWE.
Yeah.
Like, he's been pretty popular in WWE.
I mean, he's been willing to put his body on the line. He's done some crazy stunts, so.
All right, so back to Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Live on Netflix. Are you going to watch it?
Yeah. It's on Netflix. I don't have to buy it. So why not?
Yeah, if they don't figure out some pay-per-view thing on Netflix like ESPN Plus did, which is my hope. I hope not. But it will be interesting.
Would suck.
It would be awful, but it's a subscriber society now. We thought we were cutting the cable. Nope. The companies are like, no, it'll be $20 for this one, $10 for this one, $9 for this one. All of a sudden, you're paying more than you were paying for cable.
It's stupid.
It is. Like, if you're a international football fan or soccer fan in the United States, the amount of subscriptions you have to just to watch your favorite players play or your favorite teams play in each tournament is ridiculous. You've got to have like Paramount Plus for this, Peacock for this, subscription to actual cable for other channels like USA. It's impossible. We didn't get anywhere.
Well, yeah, because each league has their own subscription thing that they partner with.
And here we are rowing our boat just in place, right? It's not going anywhere. We're trying to save money. Cut the cord. Nope, we're screwed. We're just going to keep paying more and more money. Otherwise, I don't know what's next. We're going to read books? I don't see that happening. Anyway, so you did mention when we were talking about Ngannou and Anthony Joshua that it's time for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury to just fight already. And I agree with you. In fact, like I said, they're both English. Let's just hold this fight in England. But what could hold up that fight, Wes? What did you tell me in the production meeting that could hold up that fight?
So Fury and Usyk are fighting in May, and they've already scheduled a rematch in October. They haven't even fought yet, but they've already scheduled a rematch. Like, what if it's just super one-sided? What's the point? That's the dumbest thing in the world. It's just stalling.
Or just tell me boxing is dirty without telling me boxing is dirty. Like,
so dumb.
You're going to have a tomato can fight, maybe like a hold 'em up fight. Nobody really goes hard in the first fight, so they can collect those dollars, and then they have still they double dip. Like, I hate that. Yeah. How can you pre-schedule this? Oh, I know how. You're going to cheat the market.
So dumb. I'm not watching any of those.
No, I mean, I told you before, the last boxing match I actually paid for was Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather. And anyone that watched that fight
was a snooze fest.
Anyone that watched that fight knows exactly why. That was the last boxing match I ever paid
Pacquiao was
for.
washed at that point.
Yeah, and he had like the torn rotator. It came out afterwards, but he fought him anyway. It was just all bad. It sucks. That fight should have happened 10 years earlier.
Seriously. Boxing needs to get their shit together and just put who we want to see.
Yeah.
Like, stupid.
It's behind the times, but I would love to still see Anthony Joshua against Fury, especially because we know Anthony Joshua is susceptible to losing. Like, he is. He lost to Usyk. He lost to Ruiz. Like, he can lose.
Yeah, he lost to Usyk. Was it once or twice?
I thought it was once, and then he avenged his loss the second time, just like he did with Ruiz. He lost the first time, and then he avenged his loss the second time.
It's high time we get a unification match.
You like going to boxing events still, though. You like the party atmosphere of boxing matches still. You go out with your friends and things like that to go watch the boxing matches. So you'll still do it. You just don't want to pay the pay-per-view.
I mean, if a bar's showing it for free, sure, I'll go.
Yeah, because you had said you and a mutual friend, like, you'll go out and watch the fight, or you'll text me from a bar where the fight is, because I know our mutual friend is really into boxing.
Same
What's
with
that?
UFC. Same with UFC. I don't pay for the UFC fights, but I'll go to a bar to watch it.
Remember the covers? The days of the cover? The
Oh
UFC
my
fight
gosh!
cover?
All right.
Oh my goodness gracious. How long ago was that? And speaking of cover, it seems like Sean Payton and the Broncos are trying to cover up their tracks like shit in the kitty litter bucket because they are just trying to get rid of everyone, cut all ties. It's like Sean Payton doesn't want to be held responsible for anything that's gone on. So what's going on with your former quarterback Russell Wilson? What happened there?
Russell Wilson is going to be released once they can. I think once the start of the next season is official.
Yeah.
After two seasons, they're gonna. So his
miserable seasons, two
Yeah.
god awful seasons.
He actually wasn't that bad last year, though.
At the
He
end
had,
of last year, you're right, like the last 7 or 8 games.
I think he was a serviceable quarterback compared to the year before, where he was just trash. But they're taking on $85 million in dead cap space. To put that in perspective, the largest dead cap space before that was when the Falcons released Matt Ryan for $40 million of dead cap space. That's over double. It's insane.
He still had 4 years on the contract, right?
Well, yeah. So when the Broncos took over his contract, he had 2 years left, and they signed an extension right away. He hasn't played out any of that extension. They could have just kept him for his original contract, and his contract would be ending this year. They would have no dead cap, but it's up there with the Deshaun Watson trade in terms of like the worst trades in the past decade, and they happened within 2 days of each other.
And we still have to see how that one plays out, right?
It's terrible. Deshaun Watson sucks. He's a piece of shit. Sorry, he is.
I'm hoping it stays the same. But the Browns are doing everything they can to get the most out of this investment. Like today, they've traded a 5th and a 6th round pick for Jerry Jeudy, the wide receiver off the Denver Broncos.
Oh, so Flacco has someone to throw to?
Or Dorian Thompson-Robinson, whoever replaces Deshaun Watson when he gets the injury because he's not playing.
He's gonna get injured again.
That guy is
tear his labia.
sorry sack of you know what. Not just for what he's done in his personal life, but because you can't even play it out on the field. You can't even go out there and ball on the field to make up for it. You're that bad. And he ended his own career. He ended his own career by being a disgusting human being.
Yeah. He would have been fine, I think, if he was just a decent person.
Yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson tries really hard to be perceived as just a decent person. But I guess Broncos...
He's such a church boy.
I guess Broncos country ain't riding.
I don't want to ride with him.
I don't know who's going to take him at this point. I hear rumors that it's going to be Pittsburgh Steelers, but the
Broncos bucked him off that ride.
They did. What if he ends up in Atlanta?
Falcons? I'm hearing Steelers. That's what I've seen the most.
I've seen as well. I've seen the exact same thing. Like I said, I've seen Pittsburgh, but we've got Justin Fields out there too, and the Bears have the #1 overall pick. And I mean, I don't necessarily believe in Caleb Williams. We'll see what Caleb Williams can do. But
I've been seeing a lot of stuff. It's going to be a lot harder for them to trade Justin Fields now because Penix and Bo Nix had excellent combines, and so now it's like we might have like 6 first-round picks or something like that.
That would be insane. First of all,
yeah, because J.J. McCarthy also showed out at the combine, so now it's like J.J. McCarthy, Drake May, Caleb Williams are all like surefire first-round picks. Was there anybody else? I can't remember.
Michael Penix Jr.
Michael Penix, Bo Nix. Like, they're all thinking they might go in the first round.
I can't see Bo Nix going in the first round. I just, that would be shocking.
If someone's desperate enough, I could see it.
But you also have Jaden Daniels out of LSU.
Oh, yeah, Jaden Daniels. Yeah, that's the other one I was thinking of. Yeah, so we may have, there's a chance we might have 6. I think we have 5, but there's a chance we might have 6, depending on how needy people get.
So Russell Wilson, just like in real life, this show has now tossed you into the trash, and we're on to the younger quarterbacks here as we try to figure out what's going to go on with Justin Fields. And you guys already know my opinion. You and Chelsea know my opinion when it comes to Justin Fields. He's a fine athlete. He's a great athlete. He just can't throw. He is so streaky when it comes to his ability to throw the ball. But I would be shocked if I see 6 quarterbacks go in the first round. Usually you will start to see teams pump the brakes a little bit and then push to the second round, draft what's best on their board, not reach for a quarterback. The time I can think of where we had the most quarterbacks drafted would be, what was it? Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and Lamar Jackson. So 5.
You got a good memory.
Was that accurate, though? You want to fact
Well,
check
I
me
don't
on
know.
that? Like, let's fact check me on that. But I think that was that draft. I believe it was Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold,
5.
Josh.
Yep.
Okay. Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and Lamar Jackson.
At the end. So 5. So that was, thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, that was 2018.
Yeah, it's 6. Like, I don't know, man. And you look now what happened with Josh Rosen.
And I think he got it in order too.
Oh, did
the order of pick, yeah.
All right. Well, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. But that's kind of how my brain had to work that out. I think I had to remember them in the order they were picking, so I could remember each one. But I think even for Lamar Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, the Ravens traded back into the first round to draft him. I think I have that right as well. So
they picked him at 32, and then Mason Rudolph was the next on the board at 76.
And he went to the Steelers, and then he got hit with a helmet by Myles Garrett. We all know what that led to.
He hasn't done much.
No, not at all. He's awful. But we've got some other intriguing quarterbacks in this class. Like, you've got Spencer Rattler, who was a top prospect, went to Oklahoma, couldn't make it with Lincoln Riley. But, I mean, I think he's going to be one of those prospects that everyone that fancies themselves a quarterback guru wants to get their hands on, if that makes sense. To see, like, oh, I can improve him. I can make him great. And then, Florida State, Jordan Travis, you have him also. And
is he on the draft this year? Wow.
Yeah, he's in the draft this year. He was a senior. And think about what could have been if he hadn't had that horrific leg injury in the regular season. Yeah,
because he can't even do anything right now. He can't do combine or pro day, so someone's gonna have to take a flyer on him.
And then you've got the arm, the one that you fell in love with over at Tennessee, Joe Milton, with the giant rocket arm. I mean, like, there's a couple projects in here that could be good. Who knows?
Usually there's at least like 1 or 2 quarterbacks like in the late rounds that just are pretty good.
Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant.
Brock Purdy, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson in the 3rd round. Yeah. So I'm thinking
Tom Brady in the
Tom Brady.
6th round.
Actually, and even if you think about it, in this draft a while back, Patrick Mahomes. Remember, the Bears took Mitchell Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah,
and he fell back to 10, and he might be the greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers flew all the way down to the bottom of the 1st round. Like, yeah, there's a long history of really good quarterbacks getting drafted later in the 1st round. Lamar Jackson's great too. Like, I'm sorry, let's not leave him out of this conversation. They traded back into the 1st round to get him.
Imagine how much every other team, though, that was ahead of Kansas City must be shooting themselves in the foot.
Oh, you mean like the Raiders? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You guys could have had Patrick Mahomes.
Man, the amount of players I look at drafts.
But instead, you settled on Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think what's your worst pick ever is Curry, or what's his name? The linebacker from Wake Forest? Adrian Curry? I think that was his name, right?
I don't know. I'd have to.
It's been a long time. I think it was
re-rack my memory. Yeah.
So let's move on from the NFL. The draft is right around the corner. We're all very, very excited. We'll probably be recording a show during one of the rounds of the draft.
Probably.
So we'll see how that goes. We're all very excited about that. Obviously, the NFL does big business, but right now it's bye-bye Russell Wilson. Hello, trading up in the draft, I think, for Denver. I do think Denver will end up trading up in the draft. J.J. McCarthy's getting a lot of buzz from them, and I think that's probably the best place for him to land, because I'm not, though I enjoy Michigan, I am not a big J.J. guy. I don't think he's as talented as I'm being told. I think he's going to be fine, but I don't think he's a world breaker. We've got some big basketball games. Go ahead, Wes.
What pick do they have?
The Broncos?
12th overall.
Yeah, right above the Raiders. Raiders are sitting at 13.
They might not even need to trade up if they want, like, J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah. I think that he might fall right into their lap, but because he's the fourth best, right? Rated.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got Caleb's number one. Drake May is going to be number two. Then Jaden Daniels. Well, Jaden Daniels or Drake May flip flop that two.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then you've got JJ. So 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will see. I don't know. I know the Raiders are getting a lot of buzz for looking at Jaden Daniels as well. You got the Patriots up there looking at the third overall pick. Man, if we have 3 quarterbacks in a row.
I'll tell you who the Raiders are going to pick. Xavier Worthy, wide receiver out of Texas. You want to know why? He just set the record in the 40.
Al Davis died, bro. Al Davis is dead. Like, those days
the
are
spirit lives on.
The Henry Ruggs. Jeez, man. Oh, my God, that worked out. So let's move on to the NBA. And we had some arguments early in the NBA season about who's going to be the worst. And, Wes, we were both wrong because former Golden State Warrior Jordan Poole, who was caught on camera saying, "This is my team. You don't have to tell me what to do. This is my team." Well, his team is in last place in the Wizards. And is there ever going to be hope for that team? Have they ever been good?
I don't think so.
Like
even with
the
Jordan, they were
Bullets?
terrible. Even with Jordan, they were terrible.
What about when they were the Washington Bullets? Were they any good then?
Jordan. How do you suck with Michael frickin' Jordan? I don't care how old he is.
you're the Washington Wizards.
Well, they just beat the Hornets, who are equally terrible, but they rattled off 16 straight losses, and they are now in the basement of the NBA standings. So
and they have nobody. Like, name one player of repute on that team.
Jordan Poole.
It's of repute. You could just name Jordan Poole. Like, he's not good. Is Kyle Kuzma still on that team? Is he still on the Wizards? They might still have a Kyle Kuzma floating around out there in the wilderness. But that team is ridiculously bad.
They suck.
And I want to tell you about a great team that I can only name one. I can name 2 players on this. No, 3. Because one should be in jail for sleeping with a minor, Josh Giddey. Then you have Shane Gilgeous-Alexander, and then you have Chet Holmgren, right?
I don't know.
What team am I talking about, Wes? We're a sports show, Wes. What team am I talking about?
Dude, I don't know every roster in the NBA by hand.
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
NBA is like my 3rd favorite league, okay? Come on now.
My 3rd favorite behind NFL and college football. It goes college football, then the
NFL. Well, if you're including college football, then they get dropped down. Hockey's up there. I'd say hockey goes before them right now.
Well, you have a huge issue with the Warriors. You don't like the Warriors at all. But
I hate the Warriors.
So are they?
That made me so happy seeing them get absolutely destroyed by the Celtics.
You were gonna get that in no matter what. I told you.
Ago.
I said
52. I don't care. No,
talk about it.
It was it happened 6 days ago. Who cares? Okay, we have a week in between our shows. I can talk about anything within that week I want to. They got destroyed by 52 points.
Going back to an old segment. To an old segment we used to have. You know what makes Wes real sad? That he couldn't talk about it on the show right away.
So here's the funny thing, though. The Celtics, this is their 3rd 50-plus point win this season. That's a record. That is insane. Yeah. I don't know how.
I still don't believe in them, dude. I still don't believe in them. I still believe they can lose in the playoffs. I still think that they're not. I don't think that they're tough. I don't think they got that dog in them. You know what I'm saying?
No. I will give the Warriors credit, though, because they completely washed that loss off their backs. They just, let it slide off, and then they went and beat the Bucks by 35, 2 days later. So, I mean, kudos. They mentally tough. That's good. I don't know if I could just, let a 52-point loss just erase it from my memory like that.
I think, $75 million helps.
That's true.
That might make it feel a little bit. That might ease the pain. But we've got some big games in college basketball as well, and we're right around the corner from March Madness and all the conference tournaments. And is this the last Pac-12 conference tournament we're going to have ever as well?
Yes. Well, that's at least in its form right now. I mean, if Oregon State and Washington State revive the Pac-12 with the Mountain West, then no, but it's going to be a shell of its former self.
That's just wild to me that this is going to be the last year we have that legendary basketball conference, because the Pac-12 is a legendary basketball conference.
and Oregon is going to get a bye. So maybe we can make some noise and slide into a bubble slot, but I don't think so. I think we're NIT bound.
Probably most of the Pac teams are NIT bound. I mean, look at what UCLA has done this year. I talked about it on the show last week.
I think it's going to be Arizona and Washington State
that do it, that get out.
Yeah. I mean, Arizona's probably going to get like a 2 seed. I think they're pretty good this year.
They're really good this year. No, they're really good this year. You're right. It's just wild to see them up that high. And you know what? One of our old, I would say, heartwarming schools for you and I, UNM is doing well again this year. Did you see that? UNM was really good this year. And Jay
Top
Billis,
25?
Yeah, and Jay Billis had them number 13 on his list. Jay Billis said they have some of the best guard play in the NCAA at UNM.
I always enjoyed watching Lobo basketball.
Yes, and they sold out the Pit the other day, and they posted it on their Twitter. I was like, man, I miss going to games at the Pit. The Pit was dope.
Yeah, it was. It was fun. Those were good days.
Those were good days.
Yeah, so we have UNC Duke tonight. I think this determines who gets that fourth number 1 seed, because I think Houston, Connecticut, and Purdue are already locked into the 1 seeds because they have they only have 3 losses right now. Even if they lose today, I still think they cemented their 1 seeds. But I think UNC Duke kind of determines who gets that last 1 seed. That's a big game.
It is a huge game. Both teams have the exact same record right now going into tonight's game.
It's going to be fun.
But do you think this is right up there with the best rivalries in all of sports? Up there with, you do?
Up there with Ohio State, Michigan, and Auburn, Alabama in football? Yeah, I think it's up there.
Yeah, what could have been with Oregon and Washington in the Pac if both teams kept getting good and staying good? Right?
It's crazy because both of those schools are like a 20-minute drive from each other or something.
Tobacco Road,
crazy
baby.
Like that. Yeah.
Tobacco Road.
So it's like every game, even though it's a home game, it's still just like a neutral game basically because it's so packed with teams from both or with fans from both teams.
And it's my understanding it's like impossible to get tickets to these games.
Oh yeah.
For sure. You know who else it's impossible to get tickets to?
Caitlin Clark.
You nailed that
She has sold out every game she's played in this season.
So where she passed Pistol Pete for the all-time scoring record in the NCAA, I was sitting in El Paso Airport before you ran into me for our flights to take off. I was sitting there watching it on my phone, having a sandwich from Schlotsky's. I was having a sandwich watching that game.
I had a Schlotsky sandwich too.
Did you? Yeah, it wasn't bad. It had been a long time since I had one. I was like, this is pretty good. What'd you go with? I went with the old calzone sandwich that they had there.
Oh, I went with the smoked bacon, beef and cheddar.
Oh, the popular favorite. What is it called right up there? It's like popular sandwich, smoked chicken or smoked bacon gouda or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, the beef and cheddar is pretty good.
They make a good sandwich out there. But yeah, I was sitting there with my phone, pulled up the Caitlin Clark game and watched. And I think that that's the kind of audience that she's brought to women's basketball.
Yeah, people tune in just to watch. I mean, I think she set attendance record and viewing records for the for women's college basketball this year.
And I'm so much more interested in women's college basketball than men's college basketball this year. You've got, again, Haley Von Lith and Angel Reese at LSU. You've got South Carolina undefeated again. Of course, Caitlin.
Why do they always do that?
They're
like
so good.
They're this decade's UConn.
Yeah, Dawn Staley is a great coach, man. She's so good. Like, she just reloads and reloads and reloads out there. And I think that also people have forgotten about UConn, though. You mentioned UConn just now, but Gino he's got Fudd and he's got Paige Beckers on his squad. And that's not a squad I think we should forget about. Like, that squad's stacked as well. So I'm really looking forward to, and Stanford this year. Stanford's women's college basketball team is back and they look amazing.
You know who's not good? Oregon. Oregon's women's basketball is trash. I don't understand. Okay, so they just lost the last 15 games of their season. Their season's done. They lost 15 games in a row. Kelly Graves, this is the guy that led them. They were number 1 in the country going into the COVID tournament before it got canceled.
Yeah.
And they went to...
I knew you were going to bring it up, too. I was waiting for you to bring it up.
They went to a Final Four the year before that, an Elite Elite Eight before that. They went to a Sweet 16 after that. He won 10 consecutive conference championships with Gonzaga. And he's just, ever since COVID, he's been getting worse and worse and worse. And now the team is in the gutter. They're the worst team in the Pac-12. I don't understand how it's happening. Maybe he's just lost his coaching edge, but I think it's time for a change at Oregon.
You're probably right, because it's not like they don't have the backing, right? They've got Phil Knight. They've got the backing to do it. Now they've got Sabrina Ionesco as an alum, and she has everything. She has delivered on all the expectations in the WNBA. She is great. Her shoes are dope. But I know that COVID year, is the bane of your existence, because didn't they have 3 top 5 picks on that team?
Yeah. So they had the number 1 and 2 pick.
And then the number 4 pick or 5 pick, right?
Yeah.
So that team could have been one of the best women's college basketball teams of all time.
And now we suck. I think we're like 5-25 or something like that. I hate it. It sucks. It's awful.
It's life, man. I don't have anything to rely on as a sports fan right now. I'm just like, Warriors are down. Oakland A's are not maybe Oakland anymore. Maybe they will be. Maybe they won't be. Who knows what's going to happen?
It's won like 4 NBA championships. That's nothing. Whatever.
I did get that, but I'm talking about today. What do I have to be looking forward to? Like today, when I leave this show.
Basketball, men's basketball, they suck this year, but they'll be fine next year, dude.
No,
they're
Cronin
always
sucks.
good.
I hate Cronin. I hate him. I hated that hire, and I hate that head coach. It was a terrible hire for the style of basketball that UCLA should be playing. Also, hey, UCLA boosters, hey, NIL, get out there. It's Los Angeles. It's Santa Monica. Let's go buy some players. It's time now.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of what they were wanting to do with their football hire. Because I think they're just trying to get – I think they try to get someone that's going to connect with fans and boosters.
Well, he's a former running back, so and he knows the school. He knows the school well, but we'll see. I think, honestly, I hate that they did this. I hate that they couldn't get a good coach going into the merger with the Big Ten, but again, we're going to see what happens.
It was late, and I think they wanted someone who is going to, like, really connect with boosters to get that NIL going. I think
maybe even younger players, because it wasn't so long ago that he was in the NFL. So we will see what happens. But Lanning, man, your coach got it right now. I'm just saying, like, Lanning's the recruiting monster. You've got Dylan Gabriel coming, and Dylan Gabriel was really good at UCF. He was really good at Oklahoma. So he pushed old boy right out of the backup quarterback slot and made him transfer. So we're like, enough of this. We have seen enough of this. And you got Moore, right, as a backup quarterback from UCLA, of all places, who didn't play enough games to be not redshirted, so he could still have the redshirt from last year.
Yeah, he's got a redshirt this year under.
Yeah, it's crazy what Oregon's been able to do in recruiting. And you know what? It's crazy what we've been able to do with the show today on this weekend. I think today just shows, Wes, there is so much to talk about. We will have a huge UFC card tonight. We'll take a look and see what happens. If Sugar Sean can take it, or Cheeto Vera shows, hey, I didn't beat you by accident the first time we fought. It wasn't because your foot was broken. I just beat you. And we'll see if that happens again tonight. Pardon me. Wes, anything you're looking forward to before the next time we talk?
The conference tournaments. I think, oh man, I'm debating whether we should do it like Sunday afternoon for Selection Sunday.
That might be good. Maybe we go live. It might be time to go live. We'll see. All right. Thank you so much for joining us each and every week. Remember, you could reach us at the SadFan Podcast Network on YouTube. You can also find us at our link tree attached to every single video. You can reach us at the SadFan12 on X or the SadFan Cast. We appreciate you. Keep helping us grow. Remember to like, subscribe, rate, and review. We'll see what made you sad next week.